What's up, everybody? This is Lucky Loco with the Lucky Loco Show. Today, I would like for you to hit that like and subscribe. If you're new to the channel, go ahead and check it out, man. Today, I'm doing a reaction video on a subject about like racism, I guess you can say. And the term is Redskin. Is it offensive or is it acceptable? I know they got rid of mascots, they got rid of school names, and they got rid of the name Redskin off of the NFL team. Do I find it offensive? Let's get into it. Let's go ahead and hear what these people have to say, and we'll check it out. So let's go ahead and
derogatory. It's just extremely offensive in so many ways, and I don't need to explain that.
More offensive.
A racist name to a football team.
I find it offensive, really bad, that it's a team. There's not a team called Blacks or Crackers or anything like that.
Gross. When they were bounty hunters.
that is super true. Like this is the word that they used to use to my acknowledgement is like a put down. I mean, we definitely use it as a term of endearment whenever we meet another native. What's up, skin? You know, like if they're little rowdy natives, they'll hit each other up like that. They'd be like, "What's up, native? What's going on? What's up, skin?" And that's a little shortcut of redskin. So with the redskin, it's it just depends how you use it. You know what I mean? The Washington Redskins. That is kind of messed up. I mean, I know people may feel a different way, be like, "Oh, quit crying about it," but nah, you need to understand about it. You need to understand what we've been putting up with since as a kid. Now, if you've never ever had to deal with any kind of racism, hey, God bless you, man. I appreciate you. I've never ever had to deal with, if you never had to deal with it, hey, man, more power to you. And if you think that, going around and being ignorant about the whole situation makes you look like a fool. So my job here is just to educate you on what to suspect or how to acknowledge the racism. Like if you've never had to put up with stuff like that, hey man, that's cool. Good for you, man. But let's go ahead and get back into it. And yeah, the term redskin to me is really racist and, like they said, outdated. And that is really true.
Looking for natives. It originated from not even saying like wanted dead or alive. Like you could just bring redskins back for payment.
Redskin is interesting because we call ourselves the cinnamon people.
Never heard of cinnamon people.
But redskin turned very ugly. It was like settlers collecting basically scalps and skins of Indians.
Offensive, I guess. It's not.
Okay. This is the story that my mother told me about, and my grandmother telling me about this. And my great-grandmother telling me about this. About the whole thing of scalping. Wasn't started by us, but people use that term, and I hear it day and day again as a term of, oh, they're going to scalp you over there. No, who started that shit? We didn't do that. We honored whenever we went to battle and fought and killed. We didn't disrespect them like that. They paid the ultimate sacrifice of dying in war. So for people, people would go, whenever they went Indian hunting, they were out there and they would lie about how many natives they killed, and they'd pay them. So people started catching on. It was like, oh man, that person there made much, didn't kill that many people. So they had to start bringing back proof. And so how did they bring back proof? They started scalping the men, the women, and the children that they murdered to get payment from the U.S. government. So you sit there and say, "Oh, this happened how long ago?" Bull fucking shit, dude. This was only like 100 and something years ago. Something that my great grandfather, my great grandmother lived through, and I grew up getting to know them. So you can take that shit, shove it up your fucking ass, because that's the type of stuff that is just completely crazy, and it's nuts. Like, it's really, really nuts.
A good word to use. Most of us in the Native American community are pretty lenient towards people not understanding that that word is not acceptable, but we don't like it.
I'm proud to be a Redskin. That means I'm Native. So for me personally, I never really equated bad names with it, because I'm proud to be a Redskin.
Profiling.
Okay, see, there's other people that don't mind. That's cool. Like, I guess it's like how it's used. Like, even with like friends, I gotta check them whenever they start getting into that area to where they think it's okay to talk shit like that when it's not. Have some respect, have some dignity, and respect one another. Or you're gonna have to feel the wrath of somebody that's gonna be pissed off if you start clowning around. Certain subjects are still a sore subject for Native Americans, and history is one of them. And then that's not just the history; it's what they teach in school. Like, the misguided information of Thanksgiving, of all these different days that are coming up, Indigenous Month. And I appreciate stuff that is, things are starting to change for the better, and things are going to continue to change, and people are going to be more educated if they dig a little deeper and they find out what's behind the meaning of redskin. And another one is red-handed. A lot of people don't know the subject between the subject and the story. I call them red-handed. That's also a racial term too. So, to get on that red-handed real quick, and to know this guy, he really appreciated this cowboy dude, and he made a knife for him. He gave it to him, and the guy was like, "Oh, look, I want this," and he threw it away. And then so the native guys who seen it, he's like, "Oh, look, he didn't want it," so he picked it up and put it back on his hip. He kept the gift that the guy threw away. So he's like, "Oh, look, that's that's red-handed of him." So that's how the whole term red-handed came to. So some people may not take offense to that, but I'm just saying, if you have Native American friends, or if you're on this platform, don't sit there and start being ignorant about the whole situation and sitting there and go, "Ooh, come on, dude." If I've seen a couple videos where people were doing that, and it's just like, all right, cool. They're ignorant. They do not know how offensive that shit is, but I'm here to tell you that shit is offensive. I don't care how cool we are. We're not going to be playing around like that. How about somebody that recently passed away in your family, and I start bringing up, "Oh man, your dad should have had his seatbelt on. Your mom should have." That's how it feels that's how disrespectful you are when you start bringing up somebody's. If you're being real ignorant, that's the type of feeling like if somebody who recently passed away and I start mocking them. I'm just giving you a feeling of what we go through, and you openly are racist and ignorant to that you're not being racist. So I'm just bringing up the subject of that, and I'm bringing awareness. I'm not, if you don't know, now you know, bo. So let's get back into this. I'm starting to like this video.
That's just like calling us the N-word.
It is just as offensive as the N-word would be, or any other nasty, disparaging word that we will say about any group of people.
Offensive.
Okay, I watched this video, and I've been called the N-word too in school. And the teacher in kindergarten school, first grade, you guys seen a couple videos before that where I would get into fights and I would get in trouble. I would get suspended. But nobody talked about the situation of why I got up and hit that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to know why I got up and beat him up. I know violence isn't always the answer, but if you're going to sit there and be ignorant and call me out, that's my last resort. I'm going to attack you. And, I may not win the fight, but you're not going to talk to me like that again. Because if you do, guess what? It's round 2, round 3, round 4, until you fucking learn that it's not cool to be using that. Now, the N word, this one, I apologize to anybody who's going to be offended by this upcoming ending of the video, because it is offensive, but this is what we had to put up with too. So, because like I said, this is going to be a lot offensive at the end of this video, and I know they're just letting you know what we had to go through.
Offensive. Whenever you use the term nigger or redskin or whitey or chink, it's definitely not a good thing to use.
Has anyone ever called you redskin or anything else insulting?
A river nigger. I've been called that all throughout high school. I was like 1 out of 4 Native Americans, so I experienced a lot of racism. And I still do. I definitely speak up. I definitely, in a good way, let people know that using offensive words is not something that...
She has a good way of going about it. I guess that's the right way of going about, hey, don't talk to me like that. Don't say that. But I've heard that term, the river N, prairie N. It's crazy. But, this generation is starting to realize how wrong our past was, and they're starting to correct it. A lot of people don't like change. Like when people stopped, when the slaves are freed, they started a war. They didn't like it, but guess what? The slaves are free. People didn't like, the change of now you're not segregated, and started, lynching, started killing people, and then that's Black Panthers came about. Cesar Chavez, the Brown Berets, all started from dealing with people that don't understand the cause and effect that you have on with your words. These, we're proud just like everybody else. You be proud of where you came from. Be proud of who you are. And when you sit there and call somebody out, man, they went about it the right way. Like I said, the word's offensive, and I'm sorry that that anybody that got offended by it. But that's the racism we had to put up with also.
will help us progress as a nation.
Well, that's the end of that video. I just wanted to bring up a quick awareness of Redskin. It is offensive to me, and I'm glad they got rid of it, and I'm glad they got rid of the mascots. We're not a mascot. We are rich in culture. Just because you don't know anything about it, we know about it. It's been passed down from centuries. We're here before Columbus, anybody else, man. And that goes along with the gente, the raza. The only thing that separates us is that border. You're indigenous too. You're Aztec, you're Mayan, you're all these different, that's why you got that tribal mentality. A lot of people don't know or should know how to deal with this. And I'm just, like I said, I'm just bringing awareness to it. It is offensive, and it is, I'm glad they're getting rid of it. You know, people may, hey, that's petty. You know what? If it's that petty, then don't fucking worry about it. If it doesn't bring any kind of harm to you and your household, and it doesn't bring anything up when you hear it, good for you. But for those that that grew up in a racist system, that grew up um, through boarding schools, through just destroying the whole culture and being colonized. Like, with me, I don't know my language. I just know bits and pieces. Thanks to what? The system that's here. And you want to sit there and act like, oh well, it was just so long ago. No, fuck that, dude. It's it's a touchy subject. Sorry for swearing around, but I get heated. Like it is an offensive term. Some people may not, and like I said, it's just depend. Like whenever I heard the Washington Redskins playing, I kind of like, that's not cool. You know, did I want to go protest? Did I want to go burn down their stadium? No. It was, that name was of that football team has been so long, and then these mascots have been there so long back when segregation. Like, some people may have been trying to honor the Native Americans. Hey, I appreciate that. But it's the way you use it and the way others think that they can use it, Um, it's it's rough. It's really it's a subject that needs to be spoken up to. That's the reason why I started my channel, because I see other content creators using Tonto and going like that. I mean, that's not cool, man. But that's you want to be ignorant and be stupid on your stuff. You can be anything you want on the internet. You can, and if you choose to be that person, hey, more power to you. But what I want to do is just bring awareness of how wrong it is to joke around with your friends. It's not cool. Let me sit there and be like, oh yeah, no, it's okay. No, it's not okay. Just have that understanding. So if you got somebody close, or you hear people starting up the conversation like that and starts going in that direction, because I know everybody does it. Okay, so when I'm hanging around with my friends, my family, and then there's one person that's a different race, everyone kind of jokes around with them, and some people go too far. Sometimes you start seeing people getting mad. You're like, okay, that's enough. That's you don't have to keep pushing the issue. Just be that person. If it goes too far, you're like, hey, look, that's not cool. Let's change the subject. Somebody's starting to get, oh, they're in their emotions. Yeah, of course. When you're sitting there dogging them about their people, their heritage, their upbringing. Like I said, if you had a family member that recently passed away and they're sitting there cracking jokes about it, how are you gonna feel? Are you gonna sit there and be, oh yeah, that is pretty funny how they fucking flew out the windshield? You know what I mean? No, you're gonna be offended. You're gonna be hurt. And this is the only way I can explain how it feels when you sit there and try to dog on my culture and you dog on the past. And that's the only way I can explain the emotions that you get when you sit there and talk out the side of your neck about the people. So I really appreciate you guys. I hope you guys watch the whole thing. Comment, like, subscribe, share if you agree with it. Comment if you think it's petty. If you think that it's a real, I'm willing to conversate and I'm willing to debate. It's some people may not take offense to it, but I'm one of the people that does. And like I said, I'm always willing to debate, talk, conversate. I appreciate you guys. I'm tapping out, and I'll look for another video to react to, because this reaction stuff's pretty fun, because sometimes I'm a boring dude unless I have my coffee. Then I'm ready to rock and roll, man. Well, appreciate you guys. Entrepreneur, owner of A&B Native American Cuisine, owner of the first Native American restaurant that was in Toppenish that I had to shut down. I'm back to the food truck. I'm doing great. I'm working my way up, and I don't think I'll ever do brick and mortar again, and that's a whole different subject, and I'll bring that up. But I'm always going to hustle, and I'm always going to be here. I appreciate you guys, and you have a great one.